So as you go into my little workshop here, I need to do some work. You can see that there is just stuff everywhere. Like legitimately stuff everywhere. I have dirty filters from the air conditioner there. Why? I don't know, but they're there. I have tools and stuff just scattered all over the place, so that's going to get fixed. And what the idea here is this thing is about 3 feet deep. I'm going to push it back about a foot and bring it over just a little bit shorter of where it's at now, and then build another one coming out here and have another shelf. So all of this stuff can get up and away, and there's going to be a lid on it that opens so that a lot of this other stuff, particularly these guys up here, are going to be able to go away in this. I'm a little worried about this thing. You can see this up on the rafter here. It's starting to separate. It's only held in with one nail for some unknown reason. This was built before I lived here. This thing's starting to droop a little bit. I think it's because of the weight of this. Then I have a whole bunch of extra flooring from when we put in laminated floorings in our living room, or our basement living room. So I'm gonna get all that stuff away too, get it down from being up high so that if it does fall or crash, we can do that. And also make this whole thing more structurally sound, because right now it's a disaster. You can see stuff splitting there. Again, that thing worries me intensely. And then this entire side over here is held up by this piece of wood that is cracked and screwed into a rafter. So that all needs to be fixed. This whole pegboard is really the only thing I've put into this room since we've gotten here. So it's time to do some more work. So this is what it looks like coming down to my basement now. My wife's gonna kill me. But yeah, we got stuff there. There's another room full of stuff there. And then this one is all cleaned out. I didn't bother with this stuff because there's no reason to. The big thing I'm concerned about here is the height difference. This is gonna come down about 2 inches. This is at 40 inches right now. It's a little high. I'm 6'1", it's a little high for me. So I'm gonna bring it down to 38, 36 inches to drop it down to normal height, and then that will go across there, and hopefully when I open it up it won't hit this thing. If it does, I can relocate this somewhere else and that won't be a problem. I'll deal with tearing all of this out, this stuff. I'm going to leave that shelf there and probably that shelf there because it's not really doing anything. And then there's just a few little odds and ends, some hinges for stuff, some test fittings, some extra screws. These I just don't know where the other ones are, so I'm just leaving them out so I don't forget them. Sanding block, and then this thing is chalk for marking lines. I left that there because if that gets opened, it's going to be a mess everywhere on my carpet, and I don't want that to happen. But yeah, tomorrow's a day. We're going to turn some of this stuff into some shelving and workbench stuff, and then I'm going to go to the hardware store and get all the other supplies I need. So I went to the hardware store with my build list that you can see here, and I somehow was able to fit all of this into my little Nissan Leaf. It worked pretty well. So here I'm just laying out what's going to happen. This shorter shelf is going to open up, and then the longer one and also the deeper one is going to be supported and be the main workbench. Alright, so we got them together. I put the cross members on here. Because that's where the base is going to go. I didn't put it on top because I'm going to have to slide the support through there to get it all together and in properly. So I have that. I'll screw in there, and then from the back sides. And then I'll do the other leg, flip the whole thing over, do the same thing. And then this is the top and the bottom that will eventually go on there. I'll need to notch out to make a kind of a count for these things here. This is the frame of the main workbench, and basically you can see the structure that I built here. I'm going to need to notch out some corners to be able to fit the bottom piece in. This is the bottom piece, and then you're just going to see in a second here, I'll have all the notches squared up and ready to go, and I'll just cut them out with a jigsaw. While this thing, when loaded down, is probably not going to move, there is a little bit of movement if I really want to pull on it. So I already countersunk some holes here, and I'm just going to drive some screws into it to make sure that it doesn't move. I didn't show a lot of this build, but it's essentially the same thing. I had some 2x6s to put on top and then built the same structure as far as the legs go and attached it down below. Now I'm going to be flipping this up here and you'll be able to see the kind of drawer area in just a second. I made it 2 separate containers, if you will, where it has 2 separate sections. I actually reused the wood from the old shop that was in there to do everything. You can see I have a section on the left and another section on the right to store different things and keep it somewhat organized. Best thing to do is to join these things together and add a spacer so that everything is open and they're not right on top of each other. So I'll go ahead and screw these in and be done. Alright, so here it is, all done at this point. I'll take you on the full room tour here. I have the shorter, smaller, not as deep workbench, but it has storage here and a shelf down there for other things. It's just being held up my square right now, probably not the best idea. I have the bigger workbench that has stuff on there. I moved my tool thing up here because it just was going to be so high with this thing opening here that it just made more sense to put it up there for right now. I did repopulate some of these items, but everything here is way lighter, not a big deal. And then, yeah, if we take a look, there's my bandsaw that I still need to build a table for that will eventually go in this area and be on casters so it can move. And then my table saw there, which I only use outside, not in this room because it's way too small. And I have some wood storage and stuff set up over there. But yeah, the room is much more functional now that I have everything kind of there, and I also have more space. Again, this thing used to stick out another foot, so it'd be out here, and it just took up a lot of the room. Now I have a nice corner to work in and still have all the storage I need.